Jesus. One of the most tense game of footballs I've ever attended in my life, and in all honesty, probably the best game of football I've ever attended in my life. Not so much for what happened on the pitch, just for the passion and the drama. It was absolutely incredible. But this is it, the last match review of the season, of the 2016 to 17 season. It's me, Ryan118. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. But here today we're going to talk about the match yesterday, the Scottish Cup final, Celtic versus Aberdeen, and Jesus Christ almighty, I have never came so close to a heart attack. As the looks made the CV, it looks as though I might suffer from many heart problems. But in all honesty, my heart was a mess for the majority of the game. Absolutely unreal stuff at the end, but we'll go through it from the start to the ending, because it is quite an eventful game and one of the most, I don't know, weird games to talk about of the season, just for everything that happened leading up to that 90th minute goal from Tom Rogic. It just seemed like such a weird game. First half, you know, well, we named it, right, first off, let's start with the team selection. Team selection, it was the exact team I was expecting. I think Brendan Rodgers got it right with the team. The only change I would have made is I thought Sviatchenko should have been on. I think he's got a bit more to offer defensively, as I said in my match preview, and I think that could have been seen. I think from set pieces we were incredibly weak yesterday, especially in the first half. Not so much in the second half. The second half, I don't think Aberdeen had too much to do. They didn't have as many set pieces as they did in the first, but in the first, the amount of free headers and balls they were winning from the free kicks on the wings and our corners and such, it was unbelievable. We were horrendous at defending the set pieces in the first half, and there was just something missing. And I think Eric Sviatchenko's good at getting onto the end of headers and balls in the air. And he was missing for that, but it was what it was, I suppose. And at the end of the day, Boyata and Simunovic done their job, so it doesn't really, not much of a concern to me as anything else. But I mean, 10 minutes into the game, Aberdeen took the lead, and I didn't know what to think. At that point, I was just thinking to myself, I turned around to my pals, and they were saying the same as me, just don't let this be the day. Don't let this be the day. You know, we're going here for history. We're going through the whole season unbeaten. We're one game away from ending 16 years without a treble. To get our fourth treble in our history. And yesterday when they went up 1-0 was just... And I didn't want to doubt Celtic in my mind, but it just seemed like one of those typical things that we were going to do. You know, it was just like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the fucking game. We throw it away. But we wasted very little time, didn't we? Big Stuart Armstrong. Just usual to expect from it. It's just typical of Stuart Armstrong, isn't it? What a strike, what a goal, hitting this right back into the game. And it's just been that's the story of Brendan Rodgers and this team this season. The never say die attitude, the just the willing, the commitment, the absolute class on the field. You know, every time we've went down this season, which has been very rare domestically for us to go behind, I can only name a few off the top of my head. Like St Mirren, I remember going behind to them. I remember going behind to Kilmarnock. And all these games we came back to thunderously win. We went down 1-0 against St Mirren, 1-4-1, went down 1-0 against Kilmarnock, 1-6-1, and we wasted so little time. And that's just the story of this team. It's the mentality that Brendan Rodgers has engraved into their skull. He is just phenomenal, the attitude of these players, and they know what they have to do, and he's just transformed them, as every Celtic fan's been saying time and time again. Players who looked lost and looked as though they should have been out the door last season have been transformed into some of our key players this season under the management of Brendan Rodgers, and that was a fine example of it yesterday. When Stuart Armstrong, minute later from conceding, bang, right back in the game, 1-1. And this is where the momentum seemed to swing. For the first 10 minutes, it was all Aberdeen. It was, you know, Aberdeen were getting a good few chances, and you know they were the first 10 minutes. It was them, and the momentum swung when we scored the goal, and I think we were doing well. And then the turning point in the first half, Kieran Tierney. Fuck knows how Jayden Stockley didn't get at least a booting. I mean, yeah, he's a physical player and all the rest of it. You know what you expect, but I mean, it was. I've not actually seen the video, but I mean, if he's elbowed him to the extent, and I'm saying this, I've not seen the video, so you know, I might be completely wrong in saying he should be carded or whatever. But if you're elbowing someone to the extent where you're busting their lip, you're taking teeth out of them, and you're giving them a broken jaw, it's got to be some impact. I've still not seen the video of the elbow, so I don't know what the impact was like. But I can only imagine it was quite thunderous if it broke the boy's jaw. And that really swung the momentum in the first half, I think. That changed the game in the first half. because when Tierney went off, it seemed as though the momentum we had, because we were starting to get forward a lot more after scoring. When Armstrong scored, we were getting forward a lot more, we were creating chances, and then Tierney went off, the momentum died for Celtic. And I don't know if that is the fact we lost Tierney, they know he's injured, or it's just the fact we had to start again, because it was such a long period of time. We stopped 5 minutes or so. We had to wait for Tierney to get up and get off the park. And that's not Kieran Tierney's fault. No, I'm not saying it's Kieran Tierney's fault. But, I mean, we had to wait, obviously, so long. The game was stopped for quite a bit. And it just killed the momentum that Celtic had. And Aberdeen took advantage of it. Fair dues to them. And they started playing. First half, they were all over us. And it was a very, very painful 45 minutes to sit through. Apart from that brief period of time between the Armstrong goal and the Tierney injury, it was a horrid first half. And it really wasn't giving me the best impression going into the second half, and things had to be improved. And credit due to Callum McGregor, before we move on, who took on the role of playing left-back for the majority of the game after Tierney went off. He didn't do bad, he didn't do exceptional. I mean, he felt in and done a solid job, so hats off to Callum McGregor for playing a position which he's never played before. He might have trained there before, and you know, obviously at training, but he's never played a first team game at left back. So hats off to Callum McGregor for taking that role, because we were missing a lot, and you could tell McGregor didn't want to take risks, and that is completely understandable, because when Tierney plays left back, you know, you see a lot of overlapping, you see a lot of, you know, Tierney getting forward, doing a lot of work as like a winger would, getting forward, swinging in the balls and such. But McGregor didn't do it, and I don't know if it was he was given the instruction not to do it, or he just didn't want to, because I can understand if he didn't want to, because the abuse he would have been taken if he made a huge mistake and allowed Aberdeen to catch us in a counter down that left-hand side of the park. I think a lot of the blame would have been on Callum McGregor if a major mistake happened. So I'm missing a lot of that, you know, attacking threat from the full-back position that we usually have with Tierney, because he's always overlapping, he's always getting forward and doing the job, and he always gets a few shots in there as well. I'm all missing that, but Callum McGregor done a solid job, so I think you've got to give respect to him for taking on the role yesterday, because, you know, Emilio Izagiri wasn't even on the bench, because I was thinking to myself, I was turning to my pals and I was saying, why the hell would I bring on Izagiri when Rogic came on, and I figured he wasn't on the bench. So I mean, hats off to Callum McGregor, as I said. So second half, you know, was a lot to do, and the second half it was just very, I wouldn't, Lisbon Lion-esque, you could say. We were just attacking, getting shots, just couldn't fit. Scott Sinclair, fucking hell, what happened to him yesterday? I mean, his actual playmaking was half decent. He was doing what he usually does, but his finishing, fucking hell, he couldn't finish his dinner. It was really something. The chances he missed yesterday, and they could have been, they were very close to being costly. He missed some absolute sittles yesterday. It's easy to forgive at this point now, but if Aberdeen went on and won the match, oh fucking hell, I would have. My opinions may have changed of him. I'm joking. I mean, I couldn't do that after one game, but his finishing was appalling, and so many chances, golden opportunities we threw away between the 45th and the 90th minute. I got a lot of Aberdeen fans commenting on my video yesterday, saying Aberdeen were all over us. I can't agree. You had your first half, I'll give first half definitely. Second half, they were saying that all over us for the full game. Second half, Aberdeen had about 2 chances from my recollection. We were just throwing away chances left, right and centre. We were all over them. Aberdeen were playing very defensive in the second half. It was our game, we just couldn't take our chances. And Lustig had a prime opportunity to score as well. I remember that was in my mind. Griffiths, he had a couple of chances. I've said Lustig, but yeah, his header went over the bar. Oh, God, I thought that was going to be a goal. There was so many chances we threw away yesterday, and it was so frustrating. But it all paid off leading up to the 90th minute. But going back to the chances, just Sinclair, fuck knows what happened to him. Griffiths, I can't really say he had the best of performances yesterday. I feel there was a lot of times where he was incredibly greedy, could have passed. I remember he went through and he shot, Ty got the top corner and it went miles. And you're thinking to yourself, could have passed there. And it was just typical, you know, Lee Griffiths kind of thing to do. He's very confident in his ability and he likes to take things on himself, and hats off to him. That's his type of football. That's how he likes to play. But sometimes in cup finals, need to put that aside, I would say. And more chances have been created. I remember Roberts, he had a fantastic chance as well, and hats off once again to Joe Lewis, the Aberdeen goalkeeper. Fantastic saves from him yesterday at points, keeping them in the game. Same with Craig Gordon for us. He made a couple of vital saves, especially in the first half. He made a very good couple of saves in the first half. But Joe Lewis was proven hard to beat. We just couldn't score. Nothing was falling for us. And it seemed like the day was just going against us. It seems like it was destined to happen, that we were going to lose out on this fantastic undefeated domestic season. and the treble as well. It seemed destined that we were going to lose at that point. I was just thinking to myself, fucking hell. But it got to the last 10 minutes, we kept getting forward, and it just, in my head, you know, it had to happen. You're thinking to yourself, Jesus Christ, come on, with the chances we're getting, it's got to happen. It surely got to happen. And there it was. One of the best moment of my life, watching Tom Rodgick go through and score that goal. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't express. Oh, jeez, it'll be a moment I take to the grave with me. One of the biggest moments, and it's solidified, it's cemented this as, and somebody said in my video last week it's not the second best season, and it is. It is the second best season. And the best season in a long, long time, obviously best season since 1967 this team has ever seen. And it will be probably for a long time, because how can we top this? How can we truly top this unless we go undefeated, treble next season with a European final, a Europa League final or something? We can't top this. Absolutely unreal. And that, just as soon as that goal went over the line, you know, it's crazy. Everybody's flying. You're hugging people you've never met before in your life. A guy next to us, I'm sure, broke his nose. I don't know if he just had a nosebleed or no, but it got cracked or something atop him. Blood's fucking flying right at him. He had to go away. And it was just crazy. Unreal. And the final whistle goes, and absolutely unreal scenes. And one of the best moments of the season, by far. My favourite game this season. Just, you know, and it's at that point you truly appreciate a last minute goal. It's like throughout the game you're like, just do it, get the game done with. But when it happens and it's all over and done with, the 90th minute games are the ones you remember. They're the ones you want. But it's, you don't want it during the game, but when the game's done, you're like, I'm glad it happened like that. Unreal occasion, unreal day, and really solidified what Celtic have been this season. Absolutely incredible, and unlucky to Aberdeen is all I can say, because once again they proved why they're the second best team in Scotland. They gave us an incredible game. They made life difficult for us, and it's not a final I would like to have to repeat if they were going to give us such a hard game like that. But unreal scenes. And the final whistle goes, and you find it hard to fucking hold back the tears. It's just incredible, because you know the achievement that the team have got, and you know what's happened, and it is so historic, and it's something that all Celtic fans there watching on TV are going to take with them to the day they die. Unreal, and truly inspiring. But aye, what a way to wrap up the season, I suppose. And it was an unreal season, and I don't know how it's going to be topped. I think everything after this point is just going to be an anticlimax. We'll need to wait and see. It's just unreal. I just don't imagine how this can ever be topped. Hopefully Brendan Rodgers done what Martin O'Neill done and gets to a European final. And I have full confidence that he can take us, maybe not as so much. A final is really hard to say, but I think he can really take us to the next level. This is the as a Celtic fan in my lifetime, it's the best I've ever felt as a Celtic fan, without a shadow of a doubt. Because I wasn't old enough to really enjoy and take in what Martin O'Neill done at Celtic. I was 3-year-old when we were in Seville, and Gordon Strachan done a fantastic job. Neil Lennon done the job, but this is special. This is something else. This is a step beyond what it was under those managers. And you know, just need to say thank you to the players, staff, and everybody involved for making this such a memorable season. Absolutely unreal, and what a game yesterday. Anyway, if you enjoyed my review of the match, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe. It's been a pleasure. And I guess we'll talk about the matches and such next season. What a way to wrap it up, I suppose. I'll be continuing to make videos during the summer, don't worry. And I'll see you next time then, I suppose. So, bye.